Mbote bande kwanga communauté congolaise et zali bongo mwabino chargé ba information na kombo ya dira Arnaud Zinga et pa iwapi lisusu teye ibongo liboso ya ba etando ikena bino na programme na biso ya FIRESIDE chat et pa iwapi to kendaka to lakisaka bino banaini ba ikosala makambo ya minene a okati ya communauté congolaise na biso awa okati ya Irlande. Kasi mokolo mwalelo toyambeli bino ndeko elenge mwasi epai wapi ngai nako pesa bino bobele introduction na ye azali nani peye moko akolobela bino na mozindo okati ya masolo toko beta awa lelo. Na moko na biso mwalelo toyambi bongo ndeko elenge mwasi na kombo ya Janet Itambo. Epai wapi na kosenga na ye poete ye pena lingala ezali mingi makasi te kasi pona compréhension moye toko beta bongo masolo na lopoto ya anglais. Epai wapi na kopesa ye maloba. Janet, how are you?
I'm good, Arnaud. How are you?
I'm doing very good. I would like you to introduce yourself a bit to our community, our people, who you are, what you do, and then through that we will take care from there. I want you to look at our camera and introduce yourself.
No problem. So my name is Janet Itambo. I am 23 years old. I am Congolese and Belgian, and I am a student and I'm also an entrepreneur. So I have my own business and that's what I do on the side. So I'm a beautician and I live in Dublin, born and raised in Dublin as well, but originally from Kinshasa. So that's kind of like my little background. And yeah, throughout the day, we'll discuss more.
Okay.
So
I really like your introduction, of course, and you told us you're an entrepreneur, and that's exactly where we're gonna be basing our conversation today. Mm-hmm. So tell me a bit about your journey to becoming the Janet that we know today, what you learned through your journey, and when did you start it? And first of all, what do you do exactly within our community here in Ireland? What's your title, if I could call it that?
So I'd say like my title. So what I do is I'm a nail technician. Okay. So I'm a beautician, and I'm literally known as a nail tech. I'm literally known as a nail tech. So where I'm from, originally, I grew up in Blanchardstown. Okay. So in Blanchardstown, like, if you were to ask like, oh, like, where do I go? Or like, where can I go get my nails done? I'll always come up in the kind of like 5 people that will be named. And when did I start? I started doing nails when I was 15 years old. So that's now 8 years today. So today it marks off as 8 years that I've been doing nails. I started when I was 15. And funny enough, I actually started doing nails when I was 12.
Oh, wow.
When I was 12, yeah, I had like a passion for it. So when I was younger, I used to always like painting my nails, painting my sisters, and everything that just had to do with beauty. I was really interested in that. And when I was 12, my mom actually got me like a beginner set and I was just doing them at home. I didn't really have a great like posture and like know how to actually like perform it well. Yeah. But I had an idea on how to do them. And then when I was 15, I remember I was in secondary school and I asked my dad, I asked him if I could use his card to order a set. And he was like, yeah. And then I did. And back then I actually had an auntie that used to do nails. Like she was very known in the Congolese community. Like all the aunties and everyone used to go to her to do the nails. She was doing wedding nails. She was doing everything. And I used to love going to her house, you know. When I used to go to her house, she always had clients and I used to just sit around and just like watch over her, how she was doing her designs and stuff. Yeah. And then when I started practicing, I remember I did like 10 clients, but like they weren't even really clients. They were like my friends. I was doing my friends, my sisters. And then my auntie was like, you know, you're actually good enough to start. And I was like, really? And then I remember precisely on the 10th of August, I literally started an Instagram page. And back then I was known as Nails by Jay.
Yeah.
And the Nails by Jay came from my nickname. So my name is Janet, but my friends have always called me like Jay or like Jan. So then I was like, okay, do you know what? I don't want it to be Nails by Janet because that's a bit like too long. I feel like when you start a business, you need to really find a name that's catchy. Yeah. Something that people will always remember, not something very long. So then I was Nails by Jay. And then ever since then, I just always did nails. And with time, I continued working. I continued on doing them until I started to expand. And then at one point, I think it was like 2017 or 2018, 2019 actually. 2019, I was doing my leaving cert.
Yeah.
So I sat my leaving cert in 2019, and then in the September in the year, I went and I did a beauty course. I did a PLC course down in Colosh de Ida in Finglas. And I did a beauty course that was probably like 8 months or 9 months. And that's where I got my beauty qualification to become a beauty therapist. Yeah. So by then I wasn't just doing nails anymore. So by then I had qualifications to do like massages, facials, waxing, makeup, a whole lot of other qualifications. So by then, that's when I knew that I didn't want to just be a nail tech. I wanted to be more than that. I wanted to become someone that was able to offer multiple services. So then that's when I rebranded my business and I called myself Beauty J. So today I am Beauty J because I'm the one that offers everything else. I'm not just a nail tech anymore. So I'm that service provider that you go to that's able to offer hair treatments. I can offer waxing treatments. If you want to come and relax, you can come and get a facial done. You can come and get a massage done. And that's what I wanted to do. So my goal and my dream has always been to get bigger and bigger and bigger, not just like, stay at the one spot. So that's actually been my journey since then.
So in the first, I know like at the beginning, I asked you one question, but I got so many answers. And listening to you, the first thing that caught my attention is the date of the 10th of August, of course, is the day when you started everything. But funny enough, that's actually the day of my birthday.
Really?
And when you said that, it kind of caught my attention. But, explaining your journey as you were explaining, the more I'm listening, the more I'm getting to understand it a lot better. So basically, without knowing, you were kind of like your aunt's apprentice. You were looking at her and she was one of the reasons behind you starting, your journey. But at 12 years old is the first time you actually, you develop the interest on the industry. But like, tell me a bit about this. You could have been like, let's say, like everybody else, they wanted to be like engineers, they wanted to be, doctors and all that. But do you feel like being around your aunts is one of the reasons that influenced you to follow that path? Or it was something that you already had in you? And my question following up to that is, what was your parents' reaction when, they saw you starting to, follow the path of like doing nails and, the way in our community, our parents are more like keen to like sending the kids toward the school path.
Yeah.
You have to go study. You have to like, you have to study so much. But listening to you is like, in a way, your dad, for example, let you use his card to buy probably your first palette of makeup or, nail beauty. But do you feel like by that gesture that he did that kind of encourage you to not let him down in a way? The fact that he opened up to give you his card to buy, did you feel some sort of responsibility of you following that thing because you took it so serious, and especially at the age of 15?
Well, already to begin with, to answer like one of your first questions, I do think that today I did look up to my auntie, but it was kind of in a way as well where like, like she can do it, I can do it. I'm so young, I can even be better, And every single time when I used to like look at her, it was just like, today, obviously, like the nails that people were doing back in the days has nothing to do with what's up to trend today, like, in 2024. But looking at her did kind of like, encourage me to be like, okay, like, although I did have a passion for it at the age of 12, but now that I'm a bit older, now I think that that's exactly what I do want to do. And even at that, I think by then, like by 2015, like she had already stopped doing nails because, like she started working and stuff. So it was something that she stopped doing like a long time ago. And I remember her coming to my house. She drove from Dunshaughlin and she was like, oh, Janet, look, I have all of these little things. I don't know if it's any use to you, but these are all of my old stuff. Just choose what you want, and whatever you don't need, just, I'll send it to Congo or like throw it away or whatever. Yeah. And then I was actually just like, oh, thank you so much. And she had all these like stickers and stuff. And I just remembered, like, till today, I still remembered, like, the excitement of seeing her bringing me this stuff, because, like, my nail journey has been so hard, like, so long, in the sense where, like, you know, there's so many people today, like, you know, when they start, they have the best products, the best everything.
Yeah.
I still remember starting nails and I was buying my nail polishes in deals, you know, like I wasn't using, you know, like gel polishes or anything. So I really started from like scratch until like built myself up. And funny enough, with like school and everything, yes, my dad did let me use his card. And back then it was my mom that bought it for me. And then 2015, my dad let me order on his card. I remember back then he was just like, oh, like, what do you want to order? Like, what is it that you want and stuff? And then I was just like, oh, like, just let me use your card. And back then, I remember that summer, I was in Belgium at my sister's house. And every single time I was asking my parents for money, there was always like, I just gave you money, or what do you need it for? So by then, I was already in that like mindset where it was like, I want to be independent. I don't want to ask my parents for money. Just give me this one chance. Just let me use this €30 in your account to order my stuff on eBay, and I will not bother you again.
Yeah.
And from there, when I started, I remember I was charging nails, like any design, anything. My nails were €10. And I continued, everything was €10, €10, €10, €10. Until eventually, like, you know, when I started getting good, I remember going into I think heading up to like December with Christmas coming up, I was so booked out. And then that's when I put my prices up to €20. And then eventually, like, you know, I just kept on going up and up and up. And then from there, like, you know, my parents knew that like that was like my passion. It was my hobby. Yeah. It was something that I loved doing. And at home, I think my parents were very encouraging, because if I had to bring people over, it was kind of hard, you know, living in a household where there's so many people. It's like, oh my God, I have clients. If I'm in the kitchen, my mom is cooking, there's the smell of food, my clients are going to smell like food. Yeah. What do I do? My dad would leave the sitting room and be like, take the sitting room. But then, although he was giving me the space, it was also like, okay, he's giving me the space to work, but I don't really have a comfortable workspace. True. But eventually with that, like, you know, I continued to like grow. And I was like, you know, even if my back was going to be crouched, I was still doing it. But I think that like, when it gets to like kind of like the African community, like coming up to like school and stuff, my parents always wanted me to finish school. Yeah. And today I feel like I love talking about my school kind of journey, because when I was in school, I was very smart. I did, you know, I loved drawing, I loved art, I loved all of those stuff. But there was just something about school, you know, like I'd do my work in class, but I would never do like my homework and stuff. And to be honest, like when it came up to like leaving CCI, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in college. I still remember saying that I wanted to do event management, but then I was like, why do I even want to do event management? Like to organize parties, to do weddings, what is it that I want to do? I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I remember that year, I didn't work well in my leaving CCI. My parents were not happy. Yeah. So it was kind of like, have you been distracted this whole time that you were just not focusing in school? I think I remember like my leaving CCI, I think I must have got like 150 points or something, which I didn't care about. You know, like there was people in my class that did like 400 points and they were crying because it's not good enough. And I'm like, you're crying over 400, I got 150, you know? Yeah. But that never stopped me from going forward, because that year, I remember specifically, I was in Congo at that time in the summer, and my results came out. My parents kept asking how people's results came out. And I was like, no, I didn't get the code or whatever. But I knew damn well that I didn't work well. And then I remember that day, I actually cried. But then I was like, why am I even crying? I don't even care. You know, like life doesn't just end at the leaving cert. Life continues, you know. So then that year, I applied for my PLC and I got accepted. And I remember my dad came back to Ireland earlier than me. I came back in September and he came back in August. And he went to register. I told him to go and pay the fee for me. And when he went with my sister, he came back and he rang my mum. He was like, oh, Janet is going to adult school, you know, over here. Yeah, good, they come. Yeah, this is adult. Why are they, like, is this where she's going? And I was just like, I can't lie, you know, I'm going to do me, just pay my fee. That's what I'm asking you to do, just pay my fee. Yeah. Because obviously I feel like, although I was very independent since the age of like 15, my parents still kept up with the duty of a parent. So anything that was to do with like school or, you know, like paying for things that they have to pay for, they did it. But everything else on the side, I was doing it on my own. And then I remember everyone used to be like, oh my God, Johnny, you're so stupid. You're so like, was on my elite, like, but I don't know why, but there was always something in me, like, if someone was to like cuss me out or something, I would laugh about it. I think it fuels me. It makes me be like, oh, okay, you think I'm stupid? I'm going to show you. Just watch, you know? And by then, I remember for someone I didn't really like school, when I did my beauty course, I had a few modules that were like business, computing, and all these like little things and word processing. And I actually liked it. And by then, just doing that course, that's what motivated me to go to uni afterwards. So funny enough, like I came out of my PLC with distinctions, distinctions. And by then I was like, who's stupid? You know, who's stupid? I'm not stupid. And by then I then applied through I think it's the CAO, whatever the portal is called. I applied for that, and I got into my first choice. I wanted to go to Dundalk. So that was my way of kind of like being like, okay, I want to take my own route. I want to move to a different, I want to move for college, get that experience of living by myself. And then at the same time, I was also thinking about my business. I was like, you know what, if I separate myself from Dublin and I remove myself from Blanchardstown, this is my opportunity to expand and to build new clientele. So unfortunately, I moved to Dundalk during COVID. So everything was online. So eventually I moved back home. But that's literally what made me go to, that's literally what motivated me to go to college. And my parents were so happy. Like when I told them that I was going to college, they're like, you're going to college? And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to college. And they were like, wow, I can't believe you're going to college. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to college. And then I went, and funny enough, I feel like I went to college. I had the experience. I went to college and I learned, and it's not that I was stupid or that like I didn't know how to, like funny enough, I was never good at maths. But when I went to college, I was passing in accounting. I was, I was blown in college. But then, funny enough, unfortunately, just in 2023, it was like February, March. January, I was in Congo. And then I realized, I was like, oh, do you know what? I'm so tired of driving to Dundalk, doing all these things. Then I realized, I was like, do you know what? I can't lie, I actually don't like college. I don't like college. I said, although I've done my 2 years of uni now, I said, I think I did it not to prove to people, but to see if I really liked it. And although I had 1 year left, I was like, I feel like with this 1 year, I can do more with my business than going to college. I do think that, yes, it's important to have a degree, and it's important to, just to have it as a backup or whatever. But I feel like it's more important for those that really want to, let's say if you wanted to become a doctor or a nurse, or you want to become like a dentist, those things require extra education. But as for me, I felt like there's so much that I can do on my own and do other stuff on the side to build myself to the level that I want to be at. And, I didn't even tell my parents that I had dropped out. But today it's another story again, because today now I'm like, okay, do you know what? Maybe I'm going to go back and just finish the 1 year. But I felt like it was very beneficial to me to have that 1 year gap to really rethink, to really kind of like reflect on my life and see like, okay, what do you want to do? If you're not going to college for 1 year, what is it that you are going to achieve in this 1 year? And I feel like I did a lot, like last year, June, I moved out of my parents' house, got my own apartment. There's a lot of good things that happened to me last year, and I feel like all of those things wouldn't have been possible if I was still in college, because all my time was dedicated to there and getting there as well. So today I do think that we live in a community where like sometimes parents are a bit too harsh on their kids, and I've seen people cry. That's why like when I seen people were crying over the results, I was like, you do know life continues after that. And today, like, I'm always happy to share my story, because I'm like, look, today I'm someone that's been doing I have my business, been running it for 8 years. I was not the best in school. I was not the best in college. I dropped out, and now we don't know if I'm going back or not, but there's still a lot of other things to be proud of on the side. And today, there's people that are scared of their parents. There's people that have that fear that, oh my God, like, I can't do that because, like my mum is going to say this, my dad is going to say this. But sometimes I feel like it's so important to encourage your kids. And today, like, my mum has accepted that, she's like, do you know what? At the end of the day, you're still my daughter. All my kids are smart in their own ways. And for me, you've now shown me and you've proven to me that beauty is your passion. So I will encourage you in every way that's possible to do what you have to do. And last year, when I was still living in my parents' house, in like 2 years ago, we had like a little room downstairs. And my dad literally told me, take it, literally take it. And I literally turned it into my beauty studio. My dad painted my walls. He did everything, because eventually, although they don't understand, but if you prove to them that you know, I think parents just need to know that you have a plan. But then you have those parents as well that are just not understandable. But I feel like if you push and you work hard and you show them and you kind of like, you know, I feel like it's so important to stand on business. You know, like if you believe this, believe it all the way. Don't just believe it halfway, because then if you believe it halfway, that's when they're going to say, oh no, you're not serious. T'étais pas sérieuse. Then clearly you didn't care about it. But when you show that you do care about it, your parents will actually end up realizing that, okay, do you know what? Maybe I need to think twice, you know? So I think it's a kind of like 50-50 situation.
I think you gave us a lot of information that even me myself as well, I got to learn a bit more about, like, you know, so many things. Like you say, we learn from one another. It doesn't matter the age, but from somebody younger than you, you can pick something good as well, you know, like they say in French, vice versa. So another question I wanted to really like point on more, I wanted to focus more on the business aspect of things. You know, within our community, of course, we always have that tendency of like when one person starts business, is like it triggers a chain reaction on everybody else's you know, mind, that okay, Janet is doing this, I'm gonna do the same, and then the next person might, you know, think the same. But tell us a bit about the structure of your business that make it sustain for 8 years. What is the key thing that you brought into the market? What made you stand out a lot more in your industry than the one that other people are not offering? And every year, from your way you explained it and your plan, you had a clear vision. Your parents didn't believe in it at the beginning, and now they accept it. And then every year, the only thing you experience, you know, you're going through is growth. But what is the secret behind that year-to-year growth? Maybe like, did you introduce another parts that was never there probably 2 years ago that brought you more customers? And then what is the plan going forward in the next 8 years? Where would you see your business in general? I'm not saying like, you started with nails and then you start introducing, for example, waxing, hair, or what way did you take it for it to sustain over 8 years? And through the time when loads of big companies closed down due to COVID, but that was the time, listening to you is like the time where your business actually flourished even more. So what was the strategy behind it? And what is your strategy going forward? I mean, where would you see your business in 8 years' time from now?
I think definitely the key to having a successful business is passion. You know, passion will help you conquer everything, you know. And today, like, I'm not saying that like my business is where I want it to be, because I'm still working, I'm still crying every day, wanting it to be better, and, you know, but passion will drive you to the next level, you know, because today there are people that are in it just to make a couple of quid on the side, to make a couple of, like, you know, to make extra change on the side. And if you're not passionate about what you do, you know, it's not really going to be the same as someone that is passionate about it, you know? So I think that passion definitely is the key, because no matter what, you're always gonna, like, you know, today you may fail, but today it'll be a success. So, you know, it's kind of like someone that's probably been working on, let's say like their dream, let's say you're working on a project and you bring it to companies every single day. They keep denying, and you've probably been doing it for 10 years. But because you're so passionate about it, because you know the worth of your project, you know that, no, I believe in this. And if you don't believe in it, someone will believe in it tomorrow. So I think that it's definitely passion that will literally get you through it. Like, you know, today, like, I've seen people that were in the beauty business, and today they're not in it anymore because, you know, they're not passionate about it. There's so many business pages that I have on my Instagram that the last post was like 2019, 2018, because they're not passionate about what they're doing, you know? So I think that today, like, obviously, like, I'm still trying to, you know, be at a better place. Yes, I do believe that I have a lot of experiences because I have been in the business for 8 years. But I do think that, you know, what makes me stand out, first of all, is that, first of all, if you're passionate about it, you will always give out great customer service. Your personality and who you are is what makes people come back to you. Someone, you could be like, let's say, not the best at doing nails and you're only a beginner. But because of how you treated me when I came to you, the type of conversations that we had, the type of customer service that you gave to me will make me want to come back to you. So I feel like apart from keeping up with the trends and stuff, like your customer service is so important. Like, you know, like sometimes even like with my clients, you know, like I make sure that I get like their birthdays, and then let's say if they're booking for their birthday, I'll give you like a glass of Prosecco or something, or, you know, like I'll offer you tea, cake. I'll even go and make you, you know, like, I'll make you iced coffees, and, you know, just like the littlest things is what makes people be like, oh my God, you know what? I love going there. We're able to talk about everything. And it's the type of relationship that you develop with your customers as well, because they're not even just your customers. They're literally like your clients, you know, like they're your clients, and they're the type of people that will continue to come back. And I feel like what makes me stand out is that I'm someone that, yes, there is competition everywhere, but I don't spend my time looking at who I'm competing with. For me, it's like my work will, you know, speak for itself, you know. For instance, like my shaping may not be the best, but because my nails last, you will come back to me. Sometimes, especially right now, like a lot of, you know, like nail techs, you know, like they're booming and they're very popular because of the type of designs that they do, you know, like their page is standing out because of designs. But are you standing out because of the products? I focus a lot on quality. So I will always make sure that I'm always investing in good quality products. I'm always investing for the better. And I do believe that in order to success, you need to lose a lot of money first before making that money back. So I feel like there's a lot of little things that, you know, there could be, and I look at people every single day and I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, I'll save some things for inspiration and I'll be like, oh, next time I want to do this too, or whatever. But I feel like what really makes me stand out is genuinely just like my passion for it. And I feel like, you know, every service provider has that kind of like, I feel like I make clients feel like when they come to me, that's their safe space. You know, you develop that kind of like, relationship with them where you can talk about anything. And I feel like I talk so much. I literally talk so much that like, when I talk to my clients, I'll never have clients that never talk. If you don't talk, I'll feel like there's an issue with you. And I feel like people need to be able to be comfortable, you know, and then you have those people that come in and out. And I feel like what makes me stand out as well is that I provide everything, you know. Not everywhere that you go to will provide toe, like, you know, feet service or toe services, but I provide everything. And people like being able to go to places and get everything done in the one place. So that's quite like a good few stuff.
Okay, Janet, before we push toward the end of our program, I would like you to give just a small advice for all our younger generation that's coming up, that's thinking to take the same journey as yourself as well. Mm-hmm. What advice would you have for them? And through your own experience, if you had a little sister that wanted to follow that path, come over to ask you for advice, what would your advice for them be?
Well, already, like what I would really say is that, you know, like when you want to do something, go for it. Don't care about what your neighbor is doing, because today we live in a generation where, you know, you could be wanting to do, let's say, makeup, but because the girl that's around the corner is also doing makeup, you're like, no, I can't do makeup because she's already doing it. We need to remember that when she started doing makeup, someone else was doing makeup too. So, you know, if you want to try something, you have to go for it, because at the end of the day, sometimes it's a natural human effect, you know, we tend to compare ourselves to people. And we're like, oh, but look at her. She's already on 500 followers and I'm only on 20 followers. My followers are not growing. But don't look at your neighbor's journey. Focus on yourself, because you need to start at the bottom of the ladder in order to climb up, and you will climb up slowly but surely and you will get there. So that's actually like my advice. Go for it. Don't even hesitate. Go for it, because you have to start somewhere in order to get where you want to be. So that's actually like my advice.
So basically say, persevere in what you do, believe in yourself, and of course the reward will be there. Now, we're going to twist this part of our show today. Mm-hmm. Everybody that passes here, because we are introducing people in our community And it's a Congolese community, of course, and you are Congolese, even though you're born here, but you are Congolese. Now, I always give people 1 or 2 questions about the Congo, but about yourself. I would like you, as a Congolese lady, born in Ireland, but you've been back and forth in the Congo. I would like you to give us, if you really know about your country, of course, even though you're born away from it, it's like, would you be able to name us at least, let's say 5 province or 4 province in the Congo?
Like 5 provinces?
Yeah.
So 5 provinces in Congo. See, like, I know Congo and I love Congo, but when we say provinces, are we talking about like counties, or are we talking about
counties? Like that's why we call it here. We call it like counties. Over there is more province.
Right.
You
Well, you know what? I'm gonna name 5, and then you tell me if they're provinces or if they're counties.
Yeah.
But for instance, we have Boma.
Okay, that's a town.
Okay, so
that's
it's a town.
in the province of Congo Central, like the call.
Okay, yeah. So we have Congo. See, the thing is, I could name you like so many like you said it's a town. I can name you so many towns.
I will fix the part of the question.
Yeah, maybe fix the part of the question. Yeah.
5 city, like town.
Okay.
In Congo that you actually know. I mean, in the sense of like name 5 city in Congo. It doesn't matter what part of the Congo it is. Just give us 5 cities.
Okay, so you want 5 cities.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, maybe try to reform your question again. Maybe ask me like 5 places.
5 places.
And then I could name you some places.
Okay.
Because then if I name some things and it's, let's say it's not a city and it's actually like a, it's a bit.
Okay, name us 5 places in Congo.
Okay, so you have like Matadi, which is in Congo Central.
Okay.
It's not in Kinshasa. And then you have Lubumbashi. You have le Kivu. You have le Katanga. You have, what's it called? You have Boma, where it's like, where you have like the Mayombe people and, what's it called? Congos. And there's also, I
think you did well already, because I seem to feel like you're going too much around Congo Central. That's what I wanted to ask.
Again,
are you related? Are you related to? Are you Mukongo? Are you what tribe? Are you, because you seem to know a lot more about Congo Central. Are you more Mukongo, or what part of the Congo that you know a bit more, if I could phrase it like that?
So, yes, I actually am Mukongo.
Okay.
Yeah, so growing up, when I used to go to Congo, you know, I've been to Matadi, I used to go to Boma, you know, have like family, you know, family down there and stuff. And so on my mom's side, my mom is from Bakongo, and on my dad's side, he's Mongo. So, yes, I'm Mukongo.
You have a bit of a cross everything.
A bit of everything, yeah.
So our last part of the test, because we're coming toward the end, I'd like you to watch our camera, and I'd like you to give a message to our community, but in Lingala.
In Lingala?
Yeah. Even a short message. Hello, my name is Janet. I do this. And do not forget at the end, of course, for the better comprehension of all our people in our community, I'd like you to shout your Instagram page as well for people that would like to get their nails done in the future on different things. You can actually do that. But because you're Congolese, I want you to look at the camera and give us a last message.
But now, the thing is, you know, like, I'm Congolese. I speak Lingala. When I go back home, I speak Lingala, but like, I'm not very confident in speaking Lingala in the camera, you know.
Even hello. I would like you to say hello just for...
hello, there's no problem. Like, Mbote Nabino, you know, there's no problem, but like, just making, like, speaking
formulating the sentences a bit.
It's kind of like...
And because we're coming toward the end, ba papa ba mama bandeko boyoki ndeko elenge mwasi azape susu entrepreneur nakati ya communauté ya minene ya sali azali déjà nakati ya industrie pona 8 ans déjà, mais pona juste ko synthétiser moi lisolo to solo la kilelo apesi biso journée na lolenge bandaki kino akomi epai azali et nzela pe azali ko continuer na yango ana ko pesa bino merci pona baton na bino bo pasaki libosa ba etando ike bongo pona koyoka ndeko elenge ya Congolaise oyo azali kosala pe ya minene awa kati ya Irlande pe na suka ya kotala kamera pe ya kopesa biso page na ya Instagram ndeko olingi osalisa manzaka pe babiloko mosusu okolanda bongo Janet akopesa biso page na ya Instagram po tosilisa émission na biso.
Well, firstly, thank you guys for watching and thank you guys for having me here. It was a pleasure sharing my story, and I really hope that it encourages, you know, a lot of people, regardless, you know, whether you're younger than me or older than me, you know, I really hope that my story has brought, you know, like a different aspect to your life, because, you know, we learn every day from each other.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. My socials are BeautyJ Aesthetics. So that's my Instagram. You can also find me on TikTok there. And yeah, so you are more than welcome to book in, and the conversation can also, you know, finish off over there as well. Yeah. So thank you guys for having us.
And Janet, thank you very much for coming over to our fireside chat. It was been an amazing conversation. And you inspired me as well to having a chat with you. And we hope to see you next time. Maybe I might get my nails done. You never know.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you very much for following us. It was our program Fireside Chat. Thanks for your time. And we'll see you on our next episode. Thank you. Bye.